What's going on?
Just hammering out podcasts.
Yeah, we are today, huh? Yeah, we had already had one earlier.
Yeah.
But our friend here, Chris Evans from Blackfoot, Idaho.
Yeah.
And glad to have you on here. It's
I'm excited to be here.
Nice to meet you face to face. We've been on social media talking and whatnot, and he's got some good stuff to share. But one of the reasons, part of the reason why I wanted to get on here too, is you have a service. We'll get into that in a little bit. That I think is a important service for a lot of people. But maybe you might want to start out with talking about you growing up.
So. Thanks for having me on, guys. I've been listening to your podcast, actually, ever since I talked to you.
Right.
And I feel like it's a good, really quality material that you guys put out. And I honestly mean that. I wouldn't say that.
We just
in your
talk.
videos. I know, but you guys have I can tell you have a wealth of knowledge. So, in fact, I was listening. I keep thinking I want to ask them follow-up questions because, I want to know about your muzzleloader hunt last year. You know what I mean? You bought a new muzzleloader for that.
You're right.
You had a good tag. Anyway, I don't know if I just didn't get that far or what. Have you put out anything for that yet?
No. So we have a series of videos we call Idaho the Season.
Yeah.
This is our 5th year doing that. Right now we're just releasing all of our antelope hunts, and then I've got that deer hunt, the muzzleloader hunt, and then a moose hunt.
We kind of do them as
we do them as they kind of actually went down. So,
I see. Okay.
So we had 8 antelope tags that we filled this year. So so we got 8 of those videos.
Plus,
before we even get
the Wyoming antelope and the Wyoming.
Yep, Wyoming antelope, Wyoming mule deer. Yeah.
But if we would actually been efficient and killed bears, we'd have had bear videos out too.
Right, exactly.
We could have killed bears. I know I could have killed bears, but we were kind of picky. But so we kind of put them out as we go, and that's the way John gets to edit them.
That's what I figured. But anyway, I watched you shot an antelope.
Yeah, that was our first video. I sent you that. So you can see
there might be more out by the time this comes out.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah. We'll have we'll listen to a few
one
weeks
launched
out.
yesterday, and
every Sunday.
For next year.
So anyway, really good content, guys. So
appreciate
props
that.
to you.
Yeah, thank you.
But anyway, like you said, Daryl, my name is Chris Evans, and I've lived in Idaho my whole life. I'm from Blackfoot, Idaho. A registered male nurse by trade. And I currently do hospice, but anyway, I've been a nurse for 16 plus years and have a lot of experience there. But I've been hunting my whole life, pretty much. It's been quite the journey because I didn't grow up in a hunting family. I'm the only one in my family who hunts. I've tried to get my brothers into it, but they hate the cold or the wet. You know what I mean? They're sissies compared to me. No, I'm kidding. They'll probably listen to this.
Right.
So, anyway,
it's just not for everybody, which is fine.
Yeah, and that's fine. My dad's the same way. And so I have had to kind of learn everything on my own. I didn't have really a mentor. My partner and my best friend, we've known each other since 4th grade. His name's Trent Hone, and we've been hunting together since we were 12. And so, between the two of us, we're seasoned, not as amazing as you guys, obviously.
You're good.
Anyway, but we have a lot of experience.
So I don't mean to interrupt, but I want to say something. To me, the way you have learned mentoring, it's awesome if you can have a mentor, even just to get you pointed in the right directions. But there's nothing better than failing, which I guarantee you have.
Oh, yeah.
But you learn so much more when you fail. At least you hope. Yeah. But we're always going to fail.
Right.
No matter what, we're going to fail, which is good because you just keep learning. And I think that's a good thing, though. So
and that's what we've tried to do is just gather knowledge, and we use each year to try and improve. And so really, we have grown together and kind of I don't want to say self-taught, but I've tried to learn from others as best as I can. I didn't really have a mentor to teach me. And so what I've discovered in my hunting journey as I've evolved, when I was young, it was just about, I wanted to shoot stuff, I wanted to hunt, I wanted to be a hunter and kill. And my journey has evolved to where now, I have a son who just loves to hunt, 15-year-old son. That's his passion, and we do that together. And I have found that I enjoy it as much, if not more, to see other people succeed.
Absolutely, yeah.
And help them, teach them everything I know. What that may not be a lot, obviously, as much as some guys, but I do feel like I've learned a lot, and as we grow and fail and stuff, the idea is I hope I can teach my son,
right.
that to avoid some of those things, those failures.
As well as you've made some probably awesome memories.
Yeah, then that's
which is a lot.
That's we call, so our business is called Idaho Trophy Hunt Planners, and I want the trophy part of that. A lot of people look down on trophy hunting, and I understand that. But the trophy to me is the experience.
Exactly.
Right. So the trophy in that business
isn't
is
size
supposed to
necessarily.
Be right.
Yes.
We're not offering 200-inch mule deer or 400-inch bulls. You know what I mean?
Right.
We'd love to do that, right? Yeah. But the idea is we want people to be able to come out and enjoy hunting and the best way the most fun I have when I'm hunting is when I see animals, and I know what I'm doing. I'm not wasting time day after day looking for animals, and so that's where scouting comes in. It really helps. And
so it's a scouting service.
Correct.
I will say this. I know for people that are from, let's say, out of state or wherever, just don't have time.
Right.
Maybe just don't have time to do the scouting. That's where a scouting service can help you a bunch, because I've seen it happen so many times where you get 1 week's vacation and you put money, time, with the effort to take off and all that. And if you don't really have the time to scout, you want to make that experience the best you can. But having somebody maybe go in there and who's done some footwork and can kind of point you in the right direction, I definitely think that's, otherwise I wouldn't even thought of bringing you on here, but I thought that's a great idea. And I know there's other people doing it out there, but
and we just started this year. I mean, full disclosure, the company, right? But we've been doing it for years and years, and so we have a vested interest in helping these guys and women, guys and gals, whatever, kids, because I think seasoned hunters such as you guys, correct me if I'm wrong, but 1 day of scouting is almost worth 2 days of hunting because the time and efficiency you get, right?
Unfortunately, a lot of times is don't go there.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and that's what we hope to avoid.
The way you're going to find them is get out there.
Right, and so our goal is to provide good data, detailed, thorough. We want to work with any clients that we may have to fit a hunt plan that fits their type of hunting, right? Everybody kind of may have a different plan. Guys from back east, maybe it's their first time coming out and they've never really glassed for hours and hours before. You know what I mean? They've tree stand, hunted in a tree stand or something like that. So, we say, okay, here's get some good optics. We're going to show you some good spots to glass from. Places where we have seen animals, in our scouting endeavors. We're not going to just send you to a glassing point because it looks good. We're going to go to the glassing point, make sure there's animals in the area, and then send you there. take pictures of the animals. We, have, this might be controversial, but we have drones that we'll use to give you an idea of the topography of the area, right?
Gotcha.
So we're not using the drones to hunt.
Right.
We're just using it to give people an idea. Okay, sometimes Google Earth isn't the 3D. Google Earth isn't always have you guys ever gotten to a glassing spot? You picked on Google Earth and you're like, this isn't.
It doesn't. What I'm saying? It looks different.
Yeah, it looks different. So. Seeing actual footage from above might help you put it together. That's the idea, right? So, we're not out there to harass the animals or anything like that. It's just for topography. Anyway, and so we want to find you animals and work with you, right? Work with the clients, work with people who are coming out to hunt. And, I kind of what started this whole thing is I was on a forum or something and said, I drew this tag. I've hunted here before. If anybody has any questions, feel free to, direct message me. And somebody did. And so I kind of told him about the area and he was really appreciative. And I thought, man, I like doing this.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
A lot of people are down
Haters.
on, yeah.
I know. I've seen some of them like, oh man, they're locals or residents or whatever, and I've almost embarrassed sometimes some of the comments people put on there about, it's not like he's asking to go with you or to give him a pin.
Right.
I mean, but in a situation like your business, you can help them maybe go that extra mile and help them, as a service.
Right. And I, as hunters, I think we need to remember that we all, whether we are residents, non-residents, we should all have a serious vested interest in the longevity of hunting because it's we know that there are anti-hunters out there who are trying to get it eliminated, don't have our best interests in mind. So the more people we get on our side, that's kind of some rhetoric.
Sure.
I'm sure that
Unfortunately,
has been spouted over and over, but I believe in it.
Most of them just don't understand the anti-hunters that it's necessary to manage. Animals need to be managed. Mm-hmm. And if they did, maybe there might be their thoughts may be a little bit different. So
yeah, and it's important to me. When I got a comment on social media, something about, I understand hunting, but trophy hunting is bad, type of thing. And I explained to this person, I understand where you're coming from, and people who go out and just shoot the animal just to get antlers, if they waste the meat, absolutely, that's totally unethical and wrong. It's illegal, right?
Yeah.
But if you think about it, trophy hunting can be good for the herd, right? Especially if you're after mature animals towards the end of their lifespan, right? Mm-hmm. You're allowing the younger ones to breed and things like that. And these older ones are more susceptible sometimes to winter kill and you know what I mean, starving and stuff like that.
Would you rather see an animal die quickly, ethically, or starve to death?
Exactly. Exactly. And so, the idea is we as hunters, I would argue, love these animals we hunt more than any anti-hunter does because we understand them, we appreciate them, and we have a vested interest in their longevity, right? We want them to thrive.
Absolutely.
So, anyway, I don't remember where I was going with this. What were we talking about? I'm sorry.
Your business.
Okay.
No, you're saying
so
I do have one question about your business really quick. So the scouting part of it, do you guys do all that yourself or how do you get that information?
Yeah, so we have different packages and we want to make it affordable but variable. Like we want to give multiple options.
Gotcha.
So we have a package, if you just are looking for area information about the area, we have a website. All of our stuff is Idaho Trophy Hunt Planners, with an S. So www.idahotrophyhuntplanners.com. at Idaho Trophy Hunt Planners on Facebook, Instagram, and then our Twitter handle, I think, wouldn't let us do it that long, so it's ID Hunt Planners, Idaho Hunt Planners. But the idea is we're going to have a database that we just add to, and if people are interested in a specific area, hunt unit, zone, whatever, they can come on, and if they just want some basic information, they can pay, a basic fee, $300, and have knowledge from past years and things like that.
Okay.
All the way up to, we'll do extensive scouting, pictures. We list places, to camp. We even have an RV that they can rent. We'll stock it fully with food and stuff. We're not guides, right? We're not outfitters.
Right.
That was something I was going to ask you is about rental. Like, do you have guys who want to come out here, don't have everything? Because we have that, also do have that rent outdoor gear here in Boise.
Oh, yeah.
And they go all the way down to, that's what I was looking up. Didn't mean to be on my phone, but I want to look them up because I wanted to say it right. Darren Cooper, I know him, and he's a great guy, super good guy. And he's got, I know, a partner or two in that. But they rent tents, sleeping bag, everything you could think of, optics all that stuff. Yeah. Which, for the guy who may be coming out here and wants a better set of optics, let's say, for their hunt.
Yeah.
But doesn't want to pay whatever thousands of dollars for them.
Right.
They can just rent them, and so that's a good, probably a good partner up with you.
I would love to do that, and so because we want them to be successful. Yeah. And good optics, especially, I know you guys have talked about this, mule deer. Good optics are very
can't
important.
Put a price on them.
Yeah. Elk, like you guys said, they're like a neon sign sometimes. The sun's coming up and you're like, but
I'm that guy that goes, he's got horns.
Yep.
Yeah.
Let's go. That's me.
Yeah. So it all just depends on what you want, and there are no judgments here.
Sure.
If you're only after a 350 plus bull or 180 inch mule deer, man, we will do our best to help you with that. Obviously, hunting is what it is, right? I mean,
It's hunting.
Yeah, it's hunting. It's not killing.
Not
it's hunting.
getting.
Right, yeah, it's not getting. Yeah. But we want to do everything we can to implement a plan to help you be successful.
Yeah.
So, camping, lodging.
You do everything
if you're going to the Island Park area, Trent has property cabins.
Oh, nice.
That he can rent to you. And then we have the RV. I'll pull it to the camp spot. Fully stock it for you.
That is awesome.
That's
that
pretty
is
cool, actually.
Yeah.
Do you rent other stuff too besides the cabins and the RV?
Well, we're hoping to, right? I mean, eventually we want to get like ATVs, tents, things like that. You know what I mean?
That's a good idea.
And then that way, guys can come out. They don't have to spend as much gas pulling something, or they're ready to go. Like they don't have to go get an ATV. Yeah, they have the camp set up. We'll stock it with food. So they can just focus on the hunt. And that's the idea. We want them, the day one that their hunt begins, we want them to be ready to go out and be able to be prepared to be successful.
You should rent Idaho license plates.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah,
just
that's
kidding.
a good idea.
I'm on to something.
Yeah. No, that's
so
genius.
how many most of the information that you have is it Eastern Idaho stuff right now, or are you all over the state? Or how's that work?
We have hunted all over the state, all the way up as far north as Salmon. So we're willing to go into any unit in Idaho.
I see.
So
do you? Okay, so that brings up another question. I don't know how this all works, but I'm learning.
Yeah, no.
So does somebody contacts you if you don't have the information already? You guys just go scout it for them. Is that what you're doing? Oh, okay.
Yeah. So
I get it.
So maybe it's a unit. We don't have intimate knowledge of every unit in Idaho.
Right.
But if we don't have knowledge, we'll be upfront about it with you and say, look, we'll gather the knowledge, and we want them to be satisfied, right? So, we come to an agreement, we'll work with the client and give them the information. And if they're not happy, they feel like it's not a good value, obviously we want to do what we can to change that.
Sure.
We want to work with them, right? I mean, it's important to us that customers are satisfied, just like any business. But the important thing I want to stress is we're not, this whole idea came about not because we're trying to get rich from it, but because we enjoy doing it. It's like
getting,
a hobby,
getting in the outdoors.
Yeah,
and
we
stuff,
get in the outdoors and
helping people.
Yeah. Sorry, Daryl, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, that's exactly what it is. I mean,
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah, so we want to help. And, obviously there's costs involved. So, but, if you're coming from out of state, you're probably spending upwards of a few thousand to several $1,000s, between tags and
Right.
fuel.
And here again, like I was saying
lodging and
earlier, that saves that boot time because I've went to new spots before and it might take 3-4 days, maybe even more to even figure out really where things are into
Right,
place. So
exactly.
it just cuts that out. Unless you have plenty of time, that's, I've always been, I know there's been some other people that have done it and always thought, for me personally, in Idaho, I don't necessarily need it, but I've seriously thought about using it in other states too. It's like, man, they cut that out, all that extra work.
Right.
And it's not even somebody being lazy.
Well, just
as
having
opposed
the
to
time.
Having the time,
Yeah,
exactly.
especially like he says, if they're coming from back east,
Yeah.
you can't scout that,
Yeah.
and if you got limited time to hunt,
Yeah, exactly.
I get that. That makes sense.
So, and the idea is to save you time, help you with costs, help you be prepared. I mean, I don't know. I've been there where I've shown up to a hunt and it just seems like I can't get going because I got to do this or do that. You know what I mean? All these unplanned things that kind of come up, and we want to help to streamline it, man. So you can show up. You know what you're doing on day one. You know where the animals have been leading up to the season. Mm-hmm. Good glassing points. Different things like that, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, it can be as detailed and as intense as you want it to be. And if you're just looking for some basic information, we'll provide that too. You know what I mean?
Yeah, sure.
Just like, hey, in the past, here's what we've seen. Mm-hmm. And if we haven't scouted that unit before, then we'll gather information and, go out and scout it. But even if we have scouted that unit before, we'll go out. We have packages to scout extensively for you,
right.
and try and keep it affordable. The further away we have to go, the costs will go up a little bit just because of the fuel. Fuel is just tough.
Surcharge.
But, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Unfortunately, I mean, I think there's some people, and I know you're certainly not, but like some of the big businesses, they started throwing surcharge, and I know prices have went up.
Right.
Thank you, Biden.
Right.
I'm glad I can say that on here. Okay.
Right.
I said it. Oh, I did say it out loud. No. Anyway, and I know some people have taken advantage of that, but it is more money. I mean,
Yeah. So there's got to be a fine line between what you guys do and a guide. Like, so you have to draw that line at some point. And how's that?
Right. No, that's a great question, John. So, the Idaho law states that there's 3 things, that kind of make you guide, and you have to meet all 3 of those. And
to be a guide?
To be considered guiding.
Okay.
And if you do these things, you have to have a guide license, right? Mm-hmm. So it's like provide equipment, right? Which we provide equipment, but you have to accompany them on the hunt.
Yeah.
And I'm
packing out or something like that. Charging them to pack out.
Right. Yeah.
That's illegal.
Yeah. So as long as we are what we're selling you is information,
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And then you're renting your trailer or whatever.
Equipment. Yeah. But we won't be there on the hunt with you.
Yeah.
We'll be available by phone if you have a question or something, but we can't guide you, right?
Sure.
This is for guys who are DIY, right?
Yeah.
They want to go out there, they want to hunt themselves, they want to do it themselves, but they just want to be prepared.
They want, basically what they're wanting is just a little edge.
Right.
Take a little edge off of their time.
Yeah.
I guess it would be. And I mean, I think the whole idea of having a trailer with food and all that, I mean, so I go down to Arizona hunting almost every January. And one year, time-wise, the place where I normally stay, and I usually haul my wall tent down there and blah, 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 I only had a few days to hunt, but I thought, man, time I take it down there and everything, the guy did have a few camp trailers that he rented. And so me and my buddy just decided, let's just rent camp trailer. And we were hunting on our own, and everything, but it was great. It did work out great. And so that's really no different than what you're doing.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I mean, it would be no different than renting a lodge from somebody or renting an RV.
Exactly.
I mean, but we target specifically hunters, and as our clientele. So, the idea is we bring the equipment up, we get it set up, it's all ready to go. So you're not spending time putting up a tent or setting up the RV,
right?
All of that stuff.
You should do it for camping. Because I bet people coming from back east that are traveling with like a...
Be busy during the summer.
Yeah,
camp trailer ready and like a campground Airbnb.
Right, there you go.
Yeah,
almost.
We've thought about that actually, but I just like my camper too much. Hunters, I don't know. Anyway, nothing against anybody, but if it's not their stuff, they tend to not care about it as much, right? I mean, that's just a fact.
Yeah.
And so anyway, hopefully we can get to that point though. We'd love to do that.
Yeah.
Target, or I'll open it up to everybody.
Yeah.
So.
That's a great idea.
Yeah, and so the idea we want this to be kind of like an original. It's not a novel idea. Like other people have done it, like you said, and do it still. But we want it to be like personalized, tailored to meet their needs. Not just like, hey, we'll go scout it, give you the info, and that's it. We want to develop relationships because that's what is so enjoyable about this. That's what I like about it is meeting new people. You know what I mean?
Sure, absolutely.
And getting to know them, helping them, seeing their success. Is just that's what makes it enjoyable. And plus, it allows us to get out and do what we love too. You know what I mean? So it's a win-win. Hopefully,
sure.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But we, we're excited, and we are going to be learning. So not learning, I mean, we're going to be learning the best way to serve people, right? It's going to evolve and things will change.
Absolutely.
But hopefully it'll change for the better, to help people. So we're open to suggestions. We're open to try new things. Some guy asked me if we scout for birds, like upland birds and turkeys. And, we'd be open to doing that.
Sure.
We don't do that a lot, but I'd be open to, trying things like that. We'll put up, one of the services we offer is putting up game cams, and, technology, and legislature may change this because they're trying to, game cams are a big, controversial thing. But with cellular game cams, you can have access to those pictures. They can go right to your phone. You know what I mean?
With guys before, and all of a sudden, in fact, I was with a buddy of mine on the mountain, but we happened to have service, and he's like, "Oh man, this buck just came." My
in fact, Trent has one he put up in our hunt area, and you'll never believe this, but he left that thing up for 14 months, and it worked for 14 months. Sending in pictures through the winter.
He just didn't change the batteries out, or
he didn't even change the batteries. He just left it up all winter. He's like, it snowed, and he's like, I'm just gonna leave it.
Yeah.
And we thought that the batteries would die, but I mean, he used lithium ones, but it worked all winter. It didn't die
Wow,
until,
you get some cool pics.
yeah, we really did. Yeah. And what's interesting, we found some interesting stuff out, like
Bigfoot?
this same buck. Well, oh man, I wouldn't need to start. I'd be rich if that was the case. No, I'm kidding. But we found there's this buck takes the same path every year.
Probably,
October 26th.
You know what I mean? He's going to his wintering area.
Yeah.
Wow.
His wintering area. Right after the hunt season ends. I mean, right around that 25th, 26th, he's gone by 3 years in a row.
Really?
Yeah,
That's
the same buck. And you can tell because,
Yeah.
you know, he has these kickers and he's a big 3-point. And anyway, so it's kind of some interesting stuff that we learned.
Super
you know what I
cool.
mean? He takes the same path and about the same time every year.
Huh.
So, you know, and it's not unknown that mule deer are very habitual and
Sure.
take the same routes and bed in the same area. You know what I'm saying? But
It's cool
anyway,
to get it with the same on the same trail.
Yeah, we have pictures and videos that we've kind of lined up. And we're like, yeah, that's the same guy, and it's 3 different years. You know? So anyway, it's really neat. So we will put up game cams for you. If they don't get service, then obviously we'll go check them, send you the pictures, stuff like that. So that's probably what we would do more for like turkey and upland game, just because we don't have a lot of experience. But we're happy to try.
Right.
And we're not going to say, okay, give us all this money. We don't find anything. Sorry, you're out of luck. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We're going to say, you know what? We didn't get you the information. Here's your money back type of thing.
Sure.
Okay?
That's cool.
So we don't want to, this is not to screw people out of money.
Exactly.
Right?
I was going to say
a better term.
Yeah.
I don't want to.
Yeah.
Anyway, so.
Let me ask you something. Has this, for you personally, has it, I know you enjoy doing it and you're still out there, but has it cut in a little bit into your hunting time?
It hasn't yet. And
it will.
Yeah, I know that it will. I know
That's
that it will.
That's why the word yet.
Yeah. But
I guess if it does, that means you're busy.
Yeah.
But then you have a 15-year-old who'll be driving next year.
Right. Yeah. And he wants to help us do this too.
That's cool.
You know what I mean?
That's a cool way to bring them up too.
Yeah.
You'll be out there quite. Does your wife and stuff enjoy the outdoors?
Yeah. Yep. My wife does. She hasn't killed an animal yet, but she's out there trying. You know what I mean?
Support to me.
She doesn't.
Like John's wife doesn't really hunt. Has she ever hunted, John? But she supports him.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's awesome.
Oh, my wife's great that way, and she's so supportive of this business. And but yeah, she doesn't want to. Her goal. She doesn't want to shoot a young buck. I mean, she doesn't want to take a baby, is what she said.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Sure.
So she's looking for a good, more mature buck, and that's why she hasn't killed anything yet. But she's only hunted she just got her hunting license like 3 years ago.
Oh.
So anyway, we had some opportunities last year, but I messed it up, guys. I messed it up. We were right there, a real good mature buck. And I said, well, let's try and get a little closer. And we looked down, and there's some guys coming right up the valley, and they just blew out. And
well, that's not really your fault.
Well, I should have just made a decision, and you know what I mean? I was kind of back and forth, like, what should we do? And we had a chance. She was set up, and it would have been a decent poke, but she's made the shot before, but she's like, I don't know. And so anyway, I said, well, let's try and get closer. And hindsight is
here again, the unseen, like that's something you couldn't control. I mean, when you see something calm out there, not thinking anyone else is around, what do you do?
I know. They were just feeding, and there was a bunch of them, but you could tell this buck was smart. I mean, he was looking around. We were walking in, and we kind of came up over this little rise. My wife was the first one, and she's like, come on, there's a buck. And so we get up there, and we get down, and we're looking at him. He's looking right at us, but we're like 600 yards away, and he's alert. And so we just backed off, but he kind of went up a little bit. You could tell he was a mature, smart buck.
Yeah.
And so we snuck around, and that took us a while. Came up over this little patch of trees, and anyway, that's it happens. And she was okay, and you know, it was a really cool experience. You got to see, you know, stocking in on something and had a chance and
that's cool
stuff like that. So yeah, and so every year we try. Trent has kids that hunt. I have, you know, I have 4 kids, 2 boys and 2 girls, and so we try and make it a family affair.
Yeah.
This last year, man, we. You know, at pre-scouted, we drew an elk tag, a rifle elk tag. And so we scouted the area pretty good, found some really nice bulls. Of course, you know, you got to recognize that bulls in August and September are going to be different places than October, right? But we know what's in the area.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of finding the pockets that they like to go to. And this year was hot, you know, I mean, during our hunt, these mature bulls, we saw some mature bulls, but it was just right at daylight, you know, they were heading into the dark.
Because it was so warm out.
It was so warm.
It's kind of a different fall.
Yeah.
You know,
it was, I mean, we were hunting in 80-degree weather, you know, and 70, 80-degree weather, and it was hot and didn't turn cold until the very end. My son and I both shot a bull, so that was really cool. We got a double down. Nice. It was his first bull, and he was really excited. You know, he shot 4 mule deer bucks, I think, in 4 years. You know, his first 4 years.
Wow.
Yeah. So and then this last year he wasn't able to get one, but this year he shot a bull, and he likes to. He's gotten to where he wants to be selective, which I told him that's fine. You know, like. Do what you want to do. Just make sure it's for the right reasons. You know, you're not wanting to just take the antlers and leave the animal, right? And he loves the meat, and so I'm really, I'm proud of him. I feel like he's a good ethical hunter.
Yeah,
that's good.
And anyway, I digress. So we go up there, and man, pre-scouting, I saw this great buck. I mean, and we were looking. Our primary focus was elk because we drew this elk tag.
Yeah.
But deer's open. It's Idaho general season.
Yeah.
And so we had a general tag, and I saw this buck, and I mean, I think he was probably 190 gross-ish. You know, real solid buck. And so I thought I'm gonna hunt that guy at the beginning of the season until the bull season opens. And so this area we saw him, and we saw 40 or 50 bucks. Just, it was right near an agricultural area, and they'd come off that and go up into the sage where they would bed. And you know, on mule deer, they can disappear in the sage. You know what I mean? Yeah. You guys have hunted the desert. I know you talked about in the sage and stuff, and even antelope and stuff. But anyway, so we go up there, and Trent aptly named this little hill that we were hunting on Slaughter Hill, which I don't know if that's appropriate, but we took, I think, we took five bucks and 1 bull elk off of this in about a 200-yard radius.
Oh, wow.
It was insane.
Wow.
I mean, just crazy. Something you just don't see, you know what I mean? And the bucks that they took, it wasn't anything special. But there was these young kids hunting them, you know, shooting their first bucks.
That's cool.
And his daughter shot one, 2 of his sons, he shot one, and then his father-in-law shot one, and then I shot my bull actually up there the very last day. And he was a 6x6, not anything, you know, super great, but I loved him. You know, he was special to me because my son had shot a bull. Now I had shot a bull. I mean, it was just this memorable, awesome hunt.
That's
you know
cool.
what I mean?
Absolutely.
So I was going to ask you that. What do you have a memorable hunt that sticks out, like from any of the others?
Yeah.
You know?
Well, this hunt that I just talked about was a special one. But you know, we there was a hunt. So Trent and I have been best friends for years and years, but nobody knows why, because we're very different, right? Like, yeah, we both love hunting. That's our common interest.
Right.
And I'm very much I'm interested in like the gear side of things. I like to have good gear. I like to have good optics, solid clothing. You know, I know you guys you guys had Nomad on, right?
Yeah.
Last year or something. What was his name?
Mike Tussey.
Mike, yeah. And that's part of, or Hook and them are under the same umbrella. Okay.
Right.
So anyway, they make great gear. So I know, so you guys talked about the value on that podcast of good gear. It doesn't have to be expensive, right? I mean, I got Q, First Light, stuff like that. But I appreciate good gear because it allows me to hunt longer, right? I mean, it just makes me a more effective hunter, me personally.
Right.
Because I can stay out there for longer periods of time.
Right.
So anyways, I'm interested in that. I like good optics. I feel like they're very valuable, especially with mule deer like we talked about. He's cheap. He's like, dude, he wore cotton hunting pants for years and years. You know, like these cotton, you know, holes and stuff. He just would not buy new pants. And
And
anyway,
nothing against that if that's what. But if you want to freeze them off,
Right.
yeah, he would be. I'm cold. My feet are cold.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, you got cotton socks on, cotton pants.
Well, that's one thing too. Don't getting sidetracked here,
No,
but
that's fine.
which usually happens. So but until you actually have some good gear, especially clothing wise, like you don't realize how what a huge difference it makes. I don't need that. I've been doing, grandpas were hunting in flannel and stuff like that, But
a lot of our grandpas hunted in wool too.
Exactly.
Or like a wool, you know what I mean? So it was wool, I know, back in the day.
That's true.
Now, fortunately, there's been some great synthetic things that that are really comparable to that.
Right.
They keep you warm when it's wet.
Right.
And cold out
even
still.
the wool now, we're totally getting sidetracked.
No, that's fine.
I told you this might happen.
I love talking. This podcast could be 3 hours if we're talking about gear.
That's funny. But the merino wool, I mean, it's lightweight, but it's amazing stuff.
Yeah. They got this material. It dries quickly, keeps you warm, and in all different conditions, and it helps me to be able to be out there longer. And the longer you're able to be out there, the higher chance of seeing something.
Sure,
right? I mean, that's logic, right?
Absolutely.
And so, anyway, and then, I'm buying optics, and he's just making fun of me. Like, oh, look, you bought a puffy jacket. You got a big fancy, spotting scope and stuff. And I had to he eventually bought a nice spotting scope, but it was a great deal. He had a gift card for $300. You know what I mean? He worked it down until he only paid like $300 or something. You know what I mean? And I had to talk him into it, and he's come around. But anyway, one year we were hunting, and this was my first buck that I shot. And I bought a rifle, and it was my first rifle, 7mm Remington Magnum. And I decided he had two of them there, and they were used. And I decided to go with the cheaper one so I could pay for a more expensive scope. And he goes, "What are you doing? A scope's a scope. Just put a scope on there, right?" So we're out hunting, and
did you?
No, I bought the more expensive scope.
Okay.
Right? So I didn't listen to him, thankfully. I rarely do, but sometimes I regret that. But anyway, so we're out there, and I'm going through trees, and all of a sudden I hear bam, bam, and he's sitting there shooting, and so I run out, and there's this buck, and I'm like, oh, all right, and so he goes up over the hill, and I go chasing him. Almost died. I couldn't breathe, but I'm, my first buck, right? I was like 15 or something like that, and loaded it, shot him, and dropped him, right? And so I was super excited, but of course he's upset because he missed him, right? And
same buck?
Yeah, same buck, right? He was shooting at this buck. I ran out of the trees. We watched the buck go up over the hill. I went after him and shot him. And so we get looking, and I'm like, well, let me see your scope. And it's some cheap scope, right? Scope's a scope.
Right.
Sure. And so I look in it, and the crosshairs are turned like this, And he's like, so? He didn't I'm like, dude, try and hit that target. He shoots, and he's, not even close. You know what I mean? And so that story has just, every year I make fun of him. A scope's a scope, man. Just get a jacket's a jacket. It's just a joke, But he still is resistant. He's just like, oh man. I mean, he's finally coming around though. He bought a real nice rifle this year for Christmas. His wife got him one. It's a Christensen Arms, 6.5 Creedmoor, and it's real nice, So he's recognizing, he's coming around. I've helped him, and anyway, but it's a good thing because he handles kind of the business side of it, the financials and things like that, and he's really good at that. I mean, he's a successful business owner, and he does asphalt.
You guys complement each other.
Yeah.
But in the middle, you meet in the middle for the scouting part. You still got that passion. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, so we'll go out together, always out together scouting. Bring our kids to looking for animals. We're always looking. I mean, my wife will tell you, 24/7. I'm thinking about hunting. She's like, well, let's go do something with the kids, and I say, well, let's go here. I can bring my spotting scope, and I can glass while we're messing around.
Then we can write it off.
Multitask.
Yeah, write it off.
That's true.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah, so I'm always trying to think of ways that we can get out there and looking for animals and things like that. But yeah, so we kind of meet in the middle. My role will be primarily dealing with the customers, giving them the information. We both gather it, and then I kind of communicate that with the customers. He handles the, financial side of it.
Gotcha, cool. Yeah. So did you get you said the first year you guys officially launched it?
Yeah.
And you get any good feedback or?
Yeah, so we didn't do it this last year. So we haven't done had a hunting season. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Okay, I hear you.
So we're looking for feedback.
Yeah.
And right now is a great time to sign up because we're trying to feel things out.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
So if anybody listening wants to, get a hold of us, and we're going to work with you and work hard to make sure that you're happy because we want this to be a successful endeavor.
And I like the fact that you said if you're not seeing them, it's for almost like a better word, is a money back guarantee kind of.
Yeah.
If you're not really happy with, but no matter what, not everyone's going to be happy with everything. But all you can do is the best that you can. And,
and that's what we promise is that we will do our best to make sure that you're happy. So, and I want to stress, if you come to us and say, look, man, I didn't see anything, I don't feel like this was valuable, dude, we'll totally work with you. But if you come to us and say, you guys suck, this is bull crap, blah, 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 let's just be respectful. We want to be respectful.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? And so, putting that out there, like, let's just be respectful. We'll work with you. I promise you that. And if you're not happy, ultimately, we'll give you your money back. You know what I mean?
Thinking of a guy that I know that has a tag this year. I'm going to have him get in touch with you.
Yeah, please, dude.
Yeah, that's the question I was saying about earlier too. You guys do, or are you planning to do, like, if people calling you just to get information on what tags to put in for?
Yeah.
Did you provide that kind of?
Yeah, in fact, some guy asked me, hey, he was asking me about it just the other day, and he said, well, do you have any recommendations?
So you're already getting some people contacting you.
Yeah, quite a few. Good. Yeah, they're contacting us, asking us for more information.
Good.
So as we roll this out, and I'm trying to gain a social media presence a little bit, and then through this, that's why I really appreciate you guys having me on. So, this guy contacts, if you contact me and say, hey, what do you recommend? Well, so I went through this thing. He wanted to hunt deer and elk. He wanted to draw. He wanted to rifle hunt in November, right, for both. And so I was honest with him and said, look, mule deer's pretty tough.
Right.
Rifle hunt in November in Idaho to draw a tag, especially for a non-resident. But if you want to do that, here's the draw odds. Here's probably your best option, to hunt both in the same place. And so, I went through all of different options with him, sent it to him. So absolutely, we want to help you have a best chance of drawing a tag or getting a tag, because then, that helps us.
That's probably the perfect example of what I was saying. That guy obviously didn't have a lot of time to come scout. And so he wanted to do a deer and elk hunt at the same time, and have maybe a week, whatever it was.
Right.
So, that's perfect example of why, your service can be very helpful.
Yeah, that's exactly what we want. This guy said him and his wife wanted to come out and hunt, and man, I would love to make that a great experience for them. I mean, my a couple of years ago, we got my wife, her brother lives in Texas. He flew in, and her other brother, her dad, all of our kids, and we spent a week in a hunt camp, right? And
nice.
Man, it was so fun. You know what I mean?
The hunting's one thing, but just the gathering was probably just.
I mean, I think we only shot one buck, and that was her brother, and that was the year that she should have had a good buck, but anyway. Anyway, her brother shot a little 2-point, and her other brother had a chance, but anyway,
didn't quite work.
Yeah, it just didn't work out. Right, that happens. Man, it was, and I wasn't even hunting. I didn't even have a tag because I had a November tag, and so. But it was so fun. I mean, we just really enjoyed it. So,
and a lot of it is just experience, like we were talking earlier.
Yeah.
I mean, a good, fun, quality experience.
Yeah. That's exactly what hunting should be, I think. And,
right.
It's an.
Unfortunately, and a lot of it, I think, is social media. There's so much emphasis put on the killing part that it almost ruins it in a way. You should. I always try to. Of course, everybody wants to harvest, but you got to look at maybe as we get older,
more seasoned.
Yeah, that we maybe those things are overseas. Yeah, those things maybe. Yeah, those things may actually be as you look back and think about. I mean, I think about the times where it was about dropping animals as much as I could, but. As I know I get older, I think about, you reflect on, because we're not getting any younger. I mean, you don't know how many more hunts you have left in you.
Yeah, exactly.
So just to make those quality times together, whether it's with friends, family, kids, or whatever.
Yeah, I look back at past hunts, and my only real regret is that I wasn't more present during the hunts. Does that make sense? Like, I was just so focused on trying to kill something. I didn't enjoy the journey.
Right.
And so, if I can help people understand that it's the whole thing is meant to be just this enjoyable experience.
Yeah.
And it's what you make it. I mean, it's just like anything in life. But, I want to help people. That's the idea, is help them enjoy this experience. And so if we can do that by helping you be successful, and whatever your successful means, right? I mean, you mentioned social media. Man, I look on there, and I'll be honest, sometimes it's hard not to get depressed. I see the guys killing all these big animals, and it's just like, looks easy. You know what I mean? It's like, where are all these 200-inch bucks? And of course, they're usually in hard-to-draw units, or guys who can pay a lot of money for landowner tags, or you know what I mean? Different things like that.
That's reality.
Yeah,
unfortunately.
And so guided hunts, things like that, and that's great. If you can do that, man, go for it. I would do it. I definitely would.
I know the guy that says, "Oh, that just ain't hunting to go pay $1,000 for a landowner tag." Well, you know what? I'll be the first to admit, if I could afford to go get some landowner tags, I would do some. Not saying everyone,
right?
But I would just
a hunt.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
That's all. That's it's hunting, man. Like whether you're in a trophy unit or a unit that has never produced a Boone and Crockett animal.
Right.
I don't care. I'm out there hunting, and and that's it's important to me. And the one thing I love about Idaho is it's kind of the state of opportunity.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
We're really lucky.
Yeah, we're really blessed.
I know I talked about this, I don't know, not that long ago, but just, I mean, as I don't have as many hunts left to me and I do put in for a lot of states, but I want to enjoy finally reaping the rewards of going to that state. Whether I kill something or not, whatever.
Right.
But I just want to go because you don't know. I don't want to draw a tag when I'm 78 years old and can't do it.
I mean, you hear, you could go crazy thinking about point creep, and I got to have so much to draw this tag, or I want to, it would be fun to hunt one of those units that takes 30 points to draw, you know, and there's great opportunity to harvest a trophy animal. But man, I will take hunting every year over hunting once every 5 years. You know what I mean? Like I would take that in a heartbeat.
Yeah, I rarely put in for like the trophy units because the odds of drawing them are so ridiculously low. It's just like I just want to go.
Exactly like I said. I know there's some states that have great, really, really good management, but I see those guys who get at one time, you know, they kill the bull and they can't even put in for 5 or 10 years before they can start putting in.
Yeah.
And then it's going to take another several years to draw that tag, where I'd rather kill and have elk in my freezer or deer in my freezer.
Right. So, yeah, I mean, it's you know, guys will debate, you know, that, and there's some guys who would rather have those. And so there's got to be balance, right? And even Idaho has some units that are managed for, you know, more mature animals and things like that. But like you said, John, they're almost impossible to draw.
Yeah.
You may as well draw the lottery.
And all I have to say is we better take advantage of it while we can, because it's only going to change.
All right.
Idaho too.
I know.
You know, we're pretty lucky because there's not very many states that are as easy to get tags as here.
Right.
Even if it's sitting on the computer December 1st.
Yeah.
Number 16,000.
Well,
I feel bad for those guys.
Their server crashed, right? Didn't Idaho Fishing Game server crash or something?
Every year.
There's so many people.
Yeah.
So, you know, getting a tag should be a special thing. You should value it and make the most of it.
Yeah.
You know? So even if you don't harvest something, it's still an experience that you learn from. And, you know, like, of course, I think we've all eaten tag soup. If you haven't eaten tag soup, man, I'll shake your hand. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, good job.
I don't make soup out of it. I just throw them away.
Good point.
I'm allergic to it.
Yeah, I don't. You know, I'm okay eating a tag.
Yeah,
I'm okay with it. And some people just want to fill that tag, and that's fine too. But the hunt,
there's certain animals though.
Experienced.
I love the meat. Like antelope is. I mean, I would shoot a smaller antelope if I had to, because it's not being greedy. I have to kill one, but I really do like the meat. Yeah,
well, in Idaho, you can hunt antelope every year if you archery hunt.
Exactly.
You know? And muzzleloader, you know, John, you talked last year about your muzzleloader tag, which you said there's content to come, but so I won't go into detail. But by being willing to hunt archery, muzzleloader, short range weapons,
it increases your. Well, and that's why I started muzzleloader hunting, because it was easier to get a tag, and now it's one of my favorite ways to hunt. You know.
Well, hunting mule deer in the rut is just fun.
It's so special, dude. It is so. It's crazy.
Yeah.
It is insane. Yeah, I mean, you don't get to experience that. You know, if you're just a rifle hunter or whatever.
You just don't understand it until you experience it. But just seeing bucks just roam and cruise.
It's fun.
It's just fun, man. Anyway, so.
Cool.
Yeah, if you guys, we have a Gmail, Idaho Trophy Hunt Planners @gmail.com. You know, social media, you can direct message me. The WhatsApp.
Your Chris Facebook Evans Messenger. At Chris Evans on.
It's at Idaho Trophy Hunt Planners on Instagram. And Facebook. We have a page. So my Facebook account is Chris Evans. Okay. And then the page is Idaho Trophy Hunt Planners.
Yeah, we'll put links to that in the
that'd be
description.
Yeah. And then we have a website, www.idahotrophyhuntplanners.com. Nobody else has the name, so it's kind of convenient. We can just use it for everything.
Exactly,
Anyway, and everything that we post on there is pictures taken by us. You know, we things that we have scouted, you know, things that we have seen. And so, you know, this social media is not about like trying to get a bunch of followers just to look at cool pictures of deer, which is great. There's a million Instagram accounts that do that, but I just want people to know that these are pictures we've taken. That's why sometimes the quality is not as great. I mean, you know, when you're taking a video of an animal at a mile away through a spotting scope with your phone, it's kind of tough. You know? I mean, there's a challenge to that, but anyway, the point is that you're able to see the animals that we're seeing, that we're scouting, and know that we're capable of doing it and helping you. So
right,
does that make sense?
That's perfect.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Good.
Yeah.
Awesome, man. We wish you nothing but the best.
Yeah. Oh man. Yeah. Anytime if you guys want to have us back, anytime.
Yeah, I'd love to get you and Trent back here too,
Yeah,
so we
I'd
can
love to have him on
actually talk about his. Everything's just at scope or whatever.
Yeah. Scope's a scope.
Scope's
Yeah.
a scope. Yeah.
Yeah. He. I told you about this. He had an emergency and couldn't come. He felt really bad. He was really looking forward to this. So, I mean, and I kind of was hoping he's here because I have a tendency to just ramble, man. You guys just
No, you guys are great.
and so he balances me well. He'll
Right.
hey, shut up,
Going like this.
Enough of that.
Yeah.
That's funny.
So
We need
you guys-
ramblers though, so that's good.
Oh, good.
Like
Yeah,
I
can
told
talk,
you,
like I
man,
said.
we always start on something, end up like talking about something else. But I'd rather have it like that than so scripted that no, you can't talk about that.
Yeah.
Just about this.
Well, the podcast that I listen to, and one thing that I really enjoy about your guys' podcast is that it's not scripted. You guys are willing to talk about off-subject things,
Right.
I can't
and it
tell you
has
how
value.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's
Yeah,
not just like you're shooting the breeze. You know, it has value, and you guys share your experience. And man, I mean, just looking around, John, at your home and stuff, all the animals that you killed, it's obvious you guys are experienced. A capable hunter. So thanks. I really appreciate you guys having me.
Yeah.
So,
We appreciate you making the trip.
yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yeah. Oh yeah. It was fine. No problem. Negative. I think -32 was the real fill this morning. At my
Was it
house.
really?
Yeah. And my water was froze when I left.
Oh,
So
Jesus.
in your house?
yeah, in my house. So
Oh,
if
no.
I stink, it's because I couldn't take a shit. I'm sorry.
I thought there
But
was
anyway,
something.
yeah. Luckily, nobody can smell it on the podcast. No, but so it was frozen and
I hope
it was
it's
cold,
thawed
but-
out by the time you
Yeah,
get
my
home.
wife said it thawed out. She
Very
texted
good.
me and told me.
You
so.
gotta leave the faucets on just a little bit tonight.
We
Because it's supposed to
did
be
last
chilly.
night,
Really?
actually. Yeah, and in this house we live in has a pump, like a
Pump house?
Yeah, pump house, and we had a space heater in there.
Really?
And everything, and it still froze.
Wow.
Wow. Man, I got to go check. I actually went outside last night and because it does have a thermostat, but I turned it up a little more, made sure it was going because it was warmish in there. But I'm thinking, I'm gonna turn on a little more.
Yeah.
One thing I can't believe is, and this is off the subject, but is how much those things pull for power.
Oh man.
I mean, our power bill went up $100 and some in a month's time, and that's the only thing different.
Our energy right now is
Yeah.
just ludicrous. Thanks, Biden. Yeah, you said it first, so I can say it. No, I'm kidding. But
I did.
man, dude, fuel, it fuels everything. Gas,
Right.
propane, diesel. When those prices go up, so does the price of everything else. Like
Exactly.
heating our homes. And you try and get propane, man. I mean, like it's.
Oh, I know.
it's
Even like those
ridiculous.
little 5-gallon ones, I went to go get one. You have to trade them out.
Yeah.
Because it was convenient. Haven't had. They said they haven't had them since Thanksgiving.
Yeah,
So I had to go
crazy.
luckily to one of the big tanks, and get it done. Luckily, but
Yeah. My father-in-law, he sells fuel for a living. He's a salesman, and he said like they ran out of diesel. Like they could not get diesel. They had to go to Montana to get diesel.
wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, it's just I don't know. It's just crazy.
Well, hopefully it
but-
turns around.
Yeah, it will. I mean, things will work out, but
Yeah.
as long as we get a hunt, I can handle it. You know
Right.
what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, cool. We'll definitely have you on. You know what we're gonna do? Let's just plan on maybe even if it's a year from now, because
Yeah.
that'll give you a good season
Okay.
to
Yeah.
see how things
That'd be
went.
fun.
And
That'd be great.
So sounds
Yeah,
great.
and let's keep in touch.
For sure.
Throughout the year.
So I got some people
I'll,
we'll throw your way, and
I'll keep checking out your content. I really enjoy it. So I'm excited to see some of your other hunts that you guys have talked about
They're
and see how
coming.
those went and stuff. So yeah, just anything you can do, and I highly recommend listening to you guys' podcast. I'll spread the word too.
Cool.
And
Appreciate
your
it.
Sagebuck Outdoors
Right.
YouTube,
Yeah.
right? Which is You do both, right? I mean,
Yeah.
it's combined.
It's
then,
combined.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm just making sure. I should have clarified that first. Sorry.
No problem.
Anyway, so yeah, it was great.
Very cool.
Appreciate
Thank you.
it. If you guys need anything or just want to get together for lunch, give me
Absolutely.
a call. For real.
Sounds good.
Absolutely. Very
Cool.
My
Appreciate
wife's
your
from
driving and everything. So
Yeah.
catch up with you again.
Yes, sir.
Thanks for chopping it up with us, John. Catch you on another one, huh?
Yes,
You gotta
you
go to
will.
work, huh?
I do have to go to work. It's a long day. It's all
right.
good. All right. Hey, thanks, guys.
Excuse me.
Appreciate you guys watching.
Yep. Thank
see
you.
ya.
Subscribe. Talk
Bye.
to you later.